Hey guys, it's Robin, RsIslandCrafts. Welcome to my craft room. Before we get into today's video, I just like to warn you, the big trucks, the dump trucks, the payloaders, all different types of vehicles are right outside my window making lots of noise. I'm sorry about the loud construction sounds and the beeps, but they dug all the dirt out of a hole. Now they're putting the dirt back in a hole, then they're taking the dirt out of the hole. You know how it goes. So please ignore that, and I hope it doesn't bother you too much. I have one final for now, unless I think of something else that we really need to discuss, but one final idea for postcards. The shaker card. I just threw this one together. It's a quick little something. It has some fishies in the sea life, so I put some blue sparkle, the blue glitter, and I took all the little bit leftovers of our papers from when I was cutting out the backs of them, of the cardstock. So I went and made confetti like you guys suggested. So I have some of that confetti in there, and then I just have the simple glitter. As simple as you can go. So, how did I do this? I have an in-progress example here. I have my stiff felt here. So whatever you're going to be using to help keep your shape of your postcard, you could, like if you were going to be using batting, you could do it here, but it might be a little bit flimsy, so you might want to have something that's a little stiffer, like the stiff felt or some type of the Timtex or whatever type of thick fusible you're using. And then I took a piece of vinyl, and right now I have it stitched down on 3 sides. I have my piece of fabric in here, and I have my fabric just like I showed you. I just took a couple scraps of the fusible and just enough to hold the fabric down, so while I'm making this and stitching it, it's not flopping around and doing crazy things. Now I have a giant roll of this vinyl, but you could get it from a clear shower curtain. You can purchase a small package of it, probably from Joann's or Michael's or Hobby Lobby. Now I know they have the fusible kind. I can't say 100% sure because I don't have it, but I think it might not be good for this, because if it has fusible on the back, any type of heat might cause it to stick to the fabric part of your card, and if you want to have it as a shaker card, that's really not going to work. So try to get something that has no fusible on it. When you buy a new bedding set or a new blanket, it comes in these plastic bags that you can reuse. So you might already have something around the house that you can use in place of vinyl and purchasing it. A lot of times with these cards, I'm trying to do anything I can, making it from what I have in the house and not purchasing anything, which is why my shaker card is just simple. It doesn't have a lot to it, but it's just something a little bit fun. You can make these as fancy and as complex as you want, but like I said, I am not a card maker, so I don't have all the fun things already to put in here. But if you look around your craft room, there are probably lots of things you can find that you can add to a shaker card. Now, since you're using vinyl, stitching it with the sewing machine, well, I just use a regular sewing machine needle and thread, and it works fine for this vinyl. But a lot of times, when I made project bags using this vinyl, but I made it during the winter, and without the humidity in the house, I was able to just use my regular presser foot and just go right around it, no problem. Today it's extremely humid. Once again, we're up above 100 in the heat index, so my presser foot's stuck. Now I do have a plastic one that I tested out, and because I was using a metal one, and the plastic did not stick as much. I did have to kind of guide it through a little bit more than I would have liked, but it worked out fine. Since my machine does not have a walking foot, I did end up with this little extra bit down here. But I think when I go ahead and I attach the back and I do my finishing treatment, I'm going to go ahead very easily be able to just fold that over a little bit. And when I do my treatment around here, it's going to cover all that up and it's not going to be a problem. They also say that you can put some Scotch tape on the bottom of your metal presser foot, and that way it's supposed to be able to glide over this easier. I've used that in the past and it's worked great. Once again, with the humidity today, it did not work for me. Since I have a giant roll, I cut a bunch of the vinyl squares out. And since our card is 4x6, instead of cutting them actually 4x6, I went ahead and I cut them 4.5 by 6.5. I've already trimmed around these edges, but you can see that I have this extra bit left over here. I wanted to have extra, so as I'm stitching, if it got any little bit off key, and I wanted to make sure that the whole edge was going to be covered. If I did it exactly 4 by 6 and it got a little kiddity-wonker, then I could actually have part of it going off of the edge of the postcard. So then I would have had to make my postcard smaller. But if I started out with a larger piece of vinyl, it made everything really easy. I just went ahead and I stitched down. This one I stitched down, came off and started up again, and I stitched down this way, filled the card, and then did across the side. This one I wanted to try, I just did the 2 sides to see if this would help this corner at all, and then I stitched across the bottom, and I still have the same situation with the corner as I did right here on this one. So I don't know if you can use a walking foot with this vinyl, but it's worth a try. I've also heard that you could put tissue paper down, and that'll help your presser foot go across it. Maybe that would work with the walking foot, and then you just tear the tissue paper off afterwards. It might be worth experimenting on a couple ones just to see what works for you. So okay, so now that was the hardest part of it, getting this all ready. Now I can decide what I want to put in. I have some blue glitter here. This is so old. I don't even know how long ago this was purchased. $1.50 at Walmart. Royal blue. I just keep it taped on the top because when I didn't, it got knocked over in my desk drawer and I had glitter everywhere. Now, I'm not a glitter person. I don't use this a lot in my crafts. But I learned with this first card that a little goes a long way. There's already a lot in here, but I've taken a lot out and put it back in the container. You can hold the edge and just kind of shake it around and see what it looks like. I think that amount of glitter is perfect. I had this snowflake button. I just went ahead and took my, I have craft scissors that I used for cutting jeans and plastic and stuff like this, not my good fabric scissors. And I just went ahead and cut the back off. You can do the same thing with a pair of pliers. So I thought I'd put a little snowflake in there. Now this is a silver snowman from a wreath, a garland that I gotten at the Dollar Tree last year. I had it on an outdoor tree for Christmas. It's probably a little bit large to put in here, but if you had smaller type of things left over from Christmas like that, you can use those. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and cut this up and add it to the confetti that I cut from my leftover pieces of cardstock. These little pieces of silver will add to the shine and sparkle to go with my glitter. As I said, I am not a card maker, so maybe some of you card makers can give us a tip and trick on what would be good in a shaker card. Or is it basically just stick in there whatever you want? So I got some shinies. I added my paper. I also have some sequins here left over from Christmas projects. I love to make those felt Christmas stockings. I try to buy new ones every year. We're only a family of 5, but I just love to keep making them and making them. It doesn't matter how many stockings we have. So I'm going to add some sequins. This is a little tip and trick for you who do use sequins like this, especially if you're using them for felt projects. Just find yourself a nice little divided container with a closed little latch here. This was from the fishing department, I'm pretty sure, and it probably had little fishing things in it. It's one of those things that I picked up for my son when he stopped fishing and left things around. I picked them up and used them. If anything sits around for too long in this house, it becomes mine and part of the craft room. So I could also add these little tiny beads if I wanted to. So that's it. Now, you can do any type of fabric you want in the back. You can have plain fabric and just let this be all your sparkles. If you had, they have different sequins that are stars and hearts and Christmas trees. I have a container of those somewhere in this house, but I have yet to find them. because you know how it is. Once you clean and put things where you belong, I don't know where that is. But this works fine for this card. You can do, they have like curly cues of paper, little pieces of ribbon. They have that crinkly paper you do for packaging and stuff like that. I bet you a little trip around the craft store or the Dollar Tree and you'll find all kinds of fun things. You can make graduation cards. This would be really fun with the year in the background. You could probably get away with not even just using fabric for this because it's going to be protected by the vinyl. You can put some type of paper in there, and maybe you can put the adhesive on the back of paper and have it stick to that, or you can just glue it down. You can sew through paper too, so you could stitch it down. So you can have their some type of paper or fabric from their graduation year and have all little curly cues of something in there, silver and black, silver and gold, whatever, or their school colors. These would be fun for Christmas, and they'd definitely be fun for little kids for their birthdays. You could put an invitation in here, and then they would have to shake it down to see. You could even put a picture of, maybe a picture of your dog or cat. That would be fun. But I thought this was really fun. While the other ones are extremely creative, this one is just simple. Throw some things in there, and it's fun. If you can find maybe even little small jingle bells or something, that would be really fun too. Now I'm just going to take this over to my machine, and I'm going to finish this off, and I'll let you see what it looks like. Okay, I put my final stitch on. I'm just going to go ahead and trim this even with the stiff felt. Throw away the scraps. And there you go. A fun little shaker card. So I hope you've been having fun with this series as much as I have. I think I'm getting close to around 30 postcards right now. Now the next step on, you should be seeing this video probably on Wednesday, so hopefully on Friday my plan is to show you how to finish these off and different ways you can finish them. We're going to be adding the cardstock or your index card or piece of fabric to the back, and I'm going to show you how to make sure all these stay together. And then the last video after that will be how to mail these. Alright guys, thanks for hanging out with me in my craft room. I'll see you on Friday. Bye!